Next topic is non-cooperation movement. So in the non-cooperation movement, the first topic is Rowlatt Act. The government passed the Rowlatt Act in 1919. So when did the British government pass the Rowlatt Act? They have passed in the year 1919. Remember it. According to this act, the police can arrest anyone and send him or her to jail without a trial in court. So what does the Rowlatt Act means? The meaning of Rowlatt Act is that the British police can arrest anyone, and that means any Indian, whether they are male or female, and they can send the person directly to jail without any trial in a court. That means without you can say they without any proof, and without they were not sent in a court so that they can prove guilty. So without any trial they were sent to go to jail. This is the main you can say objective of the Rowlatt Act. Strict action was taken against people who protest against this act. So whoever people who will revolt against, or if they will not cooperate with this act, they were given severe punishment by the British rule. Here is, did you know Gandhiji was not allowed to travel in the first class compartment of a train in South Africa, though he was carrying a valid ticket. He was insulted and thrown out of the train because of his skin color. So in the South Africa, Gandhiji was not allowed to travel in the first class compartment of a train. Why? Because he was his skin color was dark as compared to the white people. So in South Africa also there was a discrimination on the basis of color. Next is Khilafat movement. In 1914, the First World War broke out among a few European countries. So in 1914, the First World War broke among the few European countries. The war ended in 1919, and the winning countries, including Britain, forced the losing country to sign treaties. So when the First World War ended in the year 1919, the winning countries, including the Britain, they forced the losing country to sign the treaties. That means agreement. According to these treaties, the losing side had to hand over some of their territories and pay money to the victorious country. So what treaties they were forcing to sign? According to this treaty, the losing side, they have to hand over some of the areas to the winning country, and also they have to pay money to the victorious country, that means to Britain. The British fought against the Ottoman Empire in the First World War. So the British fought against the Ottoman Empire, that means the empire which exists in the Turkey in the First World War. The head of the Ottoman Empire was the Caliph, who was represented by the Muslim across the world. So the head of the Ottoman Empire was the Caliph, and who is respected by all the Muslim across the world. After the war ended, the British forced the Caliphs to sign a treaty. So after the First World War, the British forced the Caliphs to sign a treaty with the Britain. These took away a lot of his power. Muslims were angry at the way in which the Caliphs was treated. So the Muslims were very angry. Why? Because the British government had treated very badly or not in an appropriate way with the Caliph. So because of this reason, the Muslims were angry with the British rule. In India, Maulana Shaukat Ali and Maulana Muhammad Ali started a movement called the Khilafat movement. So in order to protest against whatever which happened in the Ottoman Empire and the British rule, the Maulana Shaukat Ali and Maulana Muhammad Ali, they started a movement in the Khilafat movement. That means to protest against whatever the tortures or the ill treatment which was done to the caliphs in the Ottoman Empire by the British rule. The movement demanded that the powers of the caliphs be given back to him. So the main aim of the Khilafat movement was that the caliphs, that means the head of the Muslims or the head of the Ottoman Empire, who was respected by all the Muslims across the world, they should get their power back. So this was the main objective of Khilafat movement.